Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the football betting series here on YouTube Premier League edition. The new year's not been too kind to us, our January record standing at 2 wins and 4 defeats, and a monthly loss of £87.50. However, when we take that into account with the overall records, the series stands at 74 wins, 28 losses with 7 pushes, and a total series profit of £722.68. I'm hoping to turn the table in terms of form here, so I've got 3 picks in today's episode, and if you think I'm talking some sense, please drop a like down below and subscribe to the channel for more content. Without further ado, let's get on with it. Our first pick sees 19th place Burnley playing host to 14th place Tottenham Hotspurs, and Burnley they managed to earn a draw away at Anfield in their last match. Florian Wirtz put Liverpool 1-0 ahead at half-time, but it would be Marcus Edwards that levelled up the scores on the 65th minute. From here on out it was all Liverpool, but Burnley's defence did hold strong and they managed to earn the 1-1 draw. If I am being negative though, when we take a look at the numbers we can see that Burnley weren't really in the game at all. Liverpool created enough chances to score at least 3 goals, and they also missed a penalty early on too. However, Burnley managed to ride their luck, and it is a very good point away from home for the relegation strugglers. In terms of form, that draw did continue their winless streak to 13 games in a row now. When we filter by home form, they failed to win each of their last 7 at Turf Moor, losing 5 over this period. It does appear that Scott Parker's side are a candidate for relegation, and to be honest, I can't see them staying up this season if something doesn't change soon. They host a Tottenham Hotspur side who suffered another home defeat at the hands of West Ham in their last game. Somerville fired the Hammers into a half-time lead with his goal in the 15th minute, and in the second half, Cristian Romero levelled up the affair with his equaliser just after the hour mark. Then, in the dying embers of the game, it would be Callum Wilson that came off the bench to score his 5th goal of the season and snatch all 3 points for West Ham, with the final scores finishing 2-1 to the Hammers. Stat-wise, this win was probably the right result for West Ham. Despite losing out on possession, they were the more creative side, generating 2.69 XG to Tottenham's 1.44, and that did come from 21 efforts. Once again, Spurs looking a bit hopeless at home, and as such, no one's really surprised with their 14th place league position coming into this match. When we take a look at the form, that result for Spurs now means they're winless in their last 4 games. When we filter by away form, it is slightly better, 1 win, 1 draw and 1 defeat in their last 3 away from London. When we take a look at the head-to-head records, the reverse fixture between these sides did take place on the opening day of the season. Spurs managed to cruise to a 3-0 win thanks to goals from Brennan Johnson and a Richarlison brace. Numbers-wise, they did deserve the win for sure. They won out on every major win predictor statistic. They also managed to double the XG of their visitors. Longer term, that win made it 4 in a row for Spurs over Burnley, with their last win coming in February of 2022. My prediction for today's game is that Burnley are poor to start the season, but Spurs have not been a whole lot better, especially in recent weeks. The 2 things that have me leaning towards Thomas Frank's sides are the respective head-to-head records and the fact that Spurs are one of the best sides away from home in the Premier League. Coming into this match, they sit 2nd place in the league table when we filter by away form. On the other hand, Burnley are 18th at home this season, so all this means I'm going to be backing Spurs to pick up a win, but just for a half stake here in bet number 1. Our second selection is a mid-table clash, and it sees 11th place Fulham playing host to 12th place Brighton, and Fulham they suffered a defeat late on in their last game against Leeds. Lucas Demetra popping up in the 91st minute to seal a 1-0 win for the home side. When we take a look at the stats though, we can see that this result was probably deserved. Leeds generated around 3 times the XG compared to Fulham, who really didn't show up on this match. In terms of form, that defeat for Fulham broke a 6-game unbeaten streak for the Cottagers. When we filter by home form though, they are unbeaten in their last 3 at Craven Cottage. They host a Brighton side who managed to salvage a draw in their last match against Bournemouth on Monday night. Tavernier got the Cherries off to a good start, converting the penalty around half an hour into the game, then chasing the game in the second half. When we take a look at the numbers, we can see that Brighton were the more dominant side, so perhaps it was most fitting when they did manage to find that equaliser in the 91st minute thanks to Costelas, with the final scores finishing 1-1. In terms of form, that result now means that Brighton are unbeaten in their last 4 Premier League matches. When we filter by the away form, we can see that they are unbeaten in their last 2 games, with 2 draws. On the other side of the coin, however, we can see that away from home they have just picked up 1 victory in their last 8 matches, and that is quite worrying. When we take a look at the head-to-head record, we can see that the reverse fixture finished honours even. After a goalless first half, Matt O'Reilly did manage to convert a penalty to give the Seagulls the lead, a lead that would hold all the way up until the 97th minute when Rodrigo Muniz popped up in the 6-yard box to level up the affair, 1-1 the final score. Longer term, we can see that the form has been rather mixed, 1 win, 1 draw and 1 defeat across the last 3 encounters. My prediction for today's game is that both these sides are solid mid-table fodder, and I'm not expecting anything great from them this season, and also I don't expect them to be troubled by relegation and the threat from the sides below them. As such, I'm looking for both teams to score here. Fulham have seen both teams to score in 3 of their last 4 Premier League games, and when we filter by home form we can see that this result has come in 4 of the last 5 home matches. Whereas Brighton, they've seen both teams to score in 4 of their last 5 Premier League games, and each of the last 3 away fixtures. When we take a look at the head-to-head record, we can see that each of the last 3 encounters have seen both teams to score, and also 4 of the last 5 meetings as well. And when we filter for games where Fulham are at home, 2 of the last 3 encounters have seen both teams to score. All of this means I'm going to be backing both teams to score for a full stake here in bet number 2. Our third and final pick in today's episode sees 15th place Bournemouth playing host to 4th place Liverpool, and Bournemouth, they were held to a draw in their last game against Brighton. Tavernier's penalty opened the scoring around half an hour into the match, however Brighton did manage to find an equaliser late on in the 91st minute courtesy of Costulas, the final score finishing 1-1. In terms of form, it's 1 win, 1 draw and 1 defeat in the last 3 for Bournemouth. They've only won 1 of the last 13 though, which is quite a worrying sign for a Bournemouth side who started the season in pretty decent form. When we filter by the home results, we can see that they have won just 1 of their last 6 games at the Vitality. They play host to a Liverpool side who were held to a draw in their last match against Burnley. Wirtz's opener was cancelled out by Edwards' equaliser, and despite piling on the pressure late in the game, Liverpool were unable to get a second goal despite generating 3.18 XG. Absolutely, it's another game of missed chances for the Reds. They also managed to miss a penalty before the opening goal, which could have seen them pick up the win. In terms of form, Liverpool have drawn each of the last 4 games, including some matches against sides in the lower end of the table. Now the Reds are unbeaten in their last 10, which is a good sign, but they do need to start turning some of these draws into wins if they're to have any hope at mounting a title defence this season. In terms of away records, Liverpool are unbeaten in the last 5 road matches, which isn't too bad at all. When we take a look at the head-to-head record, the reverse fixture between these sides took place on the opening day of the season. Liverpool managed to pick up a good win at Anfield, but they did leave it late. First off, Ekitike wasted no time ingratiating himself with Liverpool fans as he scored the opener of the match in the 37th minute. Gakpo doubled the lead early on in the second half, but Antoine Semenyo was not going to allow Liverpool to cruise to an easy win. The now Manchester City winger bagged a brace to level up the scores 2-2 in the 76th minute. And when it was looking like Liverpool were going to let this game fade away and chucked away a 2-goal lead, they would score twice late on. First through substitute Chiesa, and then Mo Salah put the icing on the cake in a 4-2 win. Longer term, that win for Liverpool made it 5 in a row over Bournemouth, and when we filter by games where the Cherries are at home, Liverpool have won 5 of the last 6 encounters. My prediction for today's game is that Bournemouth are in pretty poor form right now, against a Liverpool side who, despite not being at the peak of their powers, they are getting results on the road. That said, I'm not 100% sure I trust Liverpool to pick up a win in this one, and despite the head-to-head record favouring them heavily, I'm going to be a bit cautious here and I'm going to lay Bournemouth for a full stake in the final bet of today's episode. So there we have it, 3 picks in today's episode, all taking place on the Saturday. We start off with Burnley versus Tottenham. We're going to be backing the away side, odds of 1.12, a £25 half stake to return 28. Also at 3 o'clock we have Fulham Brighton. I'm taking both teams to score, odds of 1.73, a £50 full stake to return £36.50. And then wrapping up today's episode, we've got the late kickoff on Saturday, Bournemouth versus Liverpool. I'm going to be laying the home side, odds of around 1.33, a £50 full stake to return £15.63. So, across the 3 picks, we're going to be risking £125 to hopefully pick up as much as £80 and 13 pence. The question is, will we do so? And there's only one way to find out, and that's to tune into next episode. But if you have made it to this point in the video, please drop a like down below and subscribe to the channel for more content. And as always, have yourself a lovely day.